Hey everyone, today we're gonna talk about the new meta bow builds for the first starter update. And let me tell you, with everything that's been added, the new augment system, the new Qurio, the new weapons, the new armor sets and everything, there's a lot to cover, so I hope you're ready. And just so you know, I'm not gonna talk about all the new pieces and all the new skills. I already did that in my last video, so if you're curious about something that I'm not going to talk about, you can check out the last video. Today we're just gonna talk about the meta builds. And I'll just start by saying that with the new Qurio system, the game is a lot more flexible because you can add skills to any armor piece. So what I'm going to present you today is what I think is the most consistent and the most optimized set. But depending on your charm, depending on your Qurio augments, you can get the same result with different armor pieces. Out of all the new armors, there is 3 that stand out. There is the Silver Rathalos head, the Silver Rathalos chest, and the Lucent Nagakuga's arms. The Lucent Nagakuga's arms have a new skill that's called Adrenaline Rush. At 2 points, this gives you 15 attack whenever you do a perfect dodge. So that means a dodge bolt counter or an iframe. The buff lasts for 30 seconds and can be refreshed anytime, so the uptime is really good, and the buffs that it gives is pretty decent. The arms also have Evade Window 3, which is a very good comfort skill, and it gives you 2 level 2 slots, so those are very good arms. So now we're gonna talk about the Elemental Exploit skill, which is a new skill on the Silver Rathalos armor set. And this brings me to the point that Elemental has been buffed a lot in this patch for bow. First, you have the addition of Elemental Exploit. When a monster has an Elemental E zone of at least 20, this skill is going to give you 10%, 12.5%, and 15% extra elemental damage for level 1, 2, and 3. And since 1 point gives you most of the benefit for that skill, we're only gonna use 1 point. The second buff that Elemental received is the addition of the Charge Master skill as a decoration, and also you can add it via the Qurio augment. This skill increases your elemental damage by 5, 10, and 15% at level 1, 2, and 3. And unlike Elemental Exploit, there is no condition, just put the skill and your elemental damage is going to increase. And the last buff that Elemental got for bow is the fact that you can augment your weapon for elements. You can add 9 elements to every bow. 9 elements is a lot. Depending on the bow, it's between 20 and 35% elemental increase. So that's an insane buff. So I thought it was important for me to explain all of this, but now that it's done, we're gonna move on to the builds. And I have 2 builds for you today. The first one is a suicide build, in which your health is gonna drop constantly. And the second one is a non-suicide build, which has a little bit less DPS, but it's still a very good build. So first off, let's take a look at the suicide build. For the charm here, I'm using a weakness exploit 2 and level 3 slots. But other charm can work as well. If you have a constitution charm, a critical boost charm, a shot type charm, anything like this will work as well. Now, because this is a suicide build, we're gonna use the Arc Fiend legs, which will drain your health, but gives you a big boost in elemental damage. We're also gonna use the Mail of Hellfire waist, which gives you 15 raw on the red scroll. So you have elemental from the legs and raw from the waist. We're gonna use the Lucent Nagakuga's arms, which gives you Adrenaline Rush 2. Those are very good arms. And for Bloodlust, we're gonna use the Arc helmet. If you play a female character, this is called the Storge helmet, but this is the same armor. For this build, I chose a bow that has at least a level 2 slot. If your bow does not have a level 2 slot, you're gonna have to have a better charm, or you're gonna have to use the Qurio augment system. On this build, I'm using a spread bow, but if you use a rapid bow or a pierce bow, you can use the exact same build, just replace the spread decoration with force shot and pierce decorations. For the weapon augment, you want 3 element and 1 raw augment. So let's talk about the Qurio system. With this build, you can use it as is without any augmentation, but of course you can make it better by adding skills to it. So what to look for when you use this system? Ideally, you want a level 2 skills, so something like Weakness Exploit, Critical Boost, Stamina Surge, something like this. If you get a level 2 skills, you can free up a decoration slot on your build and slotting something else. Now there is one skill you should be looking for, is Chain Crit. We don't have Chain Crit on this build and there's no decoration for it, so the Qurio augment is gonna be your only way to get it. However, don't worry, even if you do not have this skill, this build is better than the old meta build. So even if you don't have Chain Crit, that's fine, you'll still do more damage with this build. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the non-suicide build now. This build looks almost the same, we're just switching the arc-themed legs for the arc greaves. So you don't have the health drain from Arc Fiend anymore, and you have blood loss from the legs. And now we're using the Silver Rathalos helmet because we get blood loss from the legs. The Silver Rathalos helmet is a very efficient armor piece, so it's gonna give us a lot of slots. Other than that, the build is the same. The bow has the same augment. You should be looking for the same thing on the Qurio crafting, and it plays exactly the same, so not much different from the Suicide build. Now, if you want even more comfort, you can switch the Arc Greaves by the Seething Basiligus legs. Those give you Stamina Surge 2 and 2 level 2 slots, but mostly they give you Guts. Guts will prevent you from being one-shot once every cut. So if you stack that with Moxie, the food skill, you can prevent 2 one-shots every time you die, so it's a lot more comfortable. Now, unfortunately, for those of you that have seen my video, the Bubbly Dance build has lost a bit of its appeal. If you're trying to fit the new skills and Bubbly Dance 3 and Resuscitate 3, it's gonna be very hard unless you have a God Charm and a lot of Qurio augments. And even in that case, it's unlikely that it's gonna be better than having Charge Master and more attack skills. Bubbly Dance is still a very good skill, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to build for if you want to get the new skills. So that's why I think for most people, the skills that I just showed are going to be better. That's pretty much it about the video. I'm pretty happy with the direction the meta is taking, but if you have any questions, as usual, leave a question in the comment and I'll try to answer it. Alright, see you next time.